Yes, you're back in. Welcome to the first proper episode of Wines, Bites and Beats, which means you watched the promo last week, which means you're now back for this one. So thank you, thumbs up, magnifique. My French is really coming along. Anyway, cut the crap. This one, I said to you, the first one will be a bit of a teaser, a bit of a promo, and all I said was, for this whole channel to work, my mission is to make life around wine simple, to make it essentially goof-proof for you. Now, as I said before, I've been in the wine trade a hell of a long time and I do some pretty high level stuff, but what I'm interested in at the moment is making it really low level. And by low level, I mean access, instant access to the thing that scares people the most when it comes to food and drink. Bollocks, given every circumstance. When you're buying your wine in the supermarket or wherever you buy your wine from, it's often a case of grab and go, which means you're on your way home from work, you're on your way home from somewhere, and you get in the shop, you dive in, you haven't got time or inclination to look, so you just think, what's on the shelf, offer, was 15 quid, now 7, that'll ding dang do for me, in fact I'll have 4.
Ding dang do for me, in fact I'll have 4.
However, given the current climate, wouldn't it be nice, instead of grabbing and going, which I'm not suggesting anyone does, but a lot of people do, so I've just contradicted myself. So if you are going to grab and go, wouldn't it be nice to spend a little bit more time thinking about what you need to buy? Now, what I'm not asking you or telling you to do is to start reading the labels and the back labels on wines and spending an extra 10 minutes in store when you don't really need to. Instead, do a few things before you go in order to help you pick the best wine for you. Because if you're spending money, you want the best value for money. And I get it. When you're grabbing and going and you've got 10 quid in your back burner, you just think, oh, that'll do. As soon as you pop the cap, pop the cork, you have a sip, it's relaxation. But wouldn't it be good to be tasting something and thinking, this is good gear, this is really good. So I'm going to give you my four top tips on how to even get into wine, how to even start way back at home when you're sitting on your sofa going, I think I'm going to get some wine, I need some wine in my life. I'm going to give you 4 top tips on how to get started in this wonderful game, this game that I love, wines. Tip number 1, now this is a big ask, I'm going to get the big arsehole ask out the way first. That is, Moolah, Wonga, Dosh. You need to part way with some green queens in order to get the best bang for your buck. So, tip number 1, it's a big ask. Spend. Lots of people are a bit hesitant about spending a bit of extra cash on wine. Totally get it, especially at the moment, totally get it. But believe you me, the more you spend on wine, the better juice you're going to get. Obvious, right? Like anything in life. The more you spend, you hope that you're going to get more bang for your buck. With wine though, for every £1 that you spend, upwards from 5 quid, it gets exponentially better. To give you an example, I mentioned it on the last video. If you spend a £5 on wine, do you know how much of that is actually wine? Taking out all your tax, your excise, your duty, your
negotiation fees, your middleman, your supermarket fees, your point of purchase fee.
You start spending 7, 8, 9 quid, no more. You get so much more value for your money. Then you're going to go from an average wine to good, really good, excellent wine. Proper nice. To get into the game, if you don't know wine or you don't know what you like and you haven't got a damn clue, this will be really good. Even if you do have a damn clue and you're drinking the same old stuff and you're quite happy but you want to taste a bit more, you could buy all the books in the world, you could do everything, but watch this video, take my advice, is go and buy, and you need money to do this, you need a certain figure to do this. If you want to get into this, 2 whites, 2 reds, and you want all of these to be different, so you need to buy, ideally, 2 white wines and 2 red wines, all of which are very different in, keyword, style. What you need to do is spend between 32 and 36 quid, which means you're going to need to bash away on about 8 quid a bottle, roughly. Now, it sounds a lot of money, and it is a lot of money, because it's wine. And if you're new to this, you'll be a bit hesitant about spending 36, 32 quid on wine. I get it, but believe me, it's important. And the whole idea is when you're buying your 2 white wines, the idea is to differentiate styles, to find out what style you like best, and it opens up doors, it really does. So, go and buy a Sauvignon Blanc and a Chardonnay. Now, lots of you might not like either. I don't know many people that like both. I happen to like both, but there's not many people that like Chardonnay and Sauvignon Blanc. But they are 2 dry white wines. So if you go into a pub or a bar and say, can I have a glass of dry white wine, please? I'd be in my rights to serve you both. However, the Sauvignon Blanc, I've got some behind me actually, should we taste in a minute? The Sauvignon Blanc, that is very different in terms of flavour and what it does to your goblet than a Chardonnay. They're two incredibly different styles. Go and buy both, spend about £8 on each. Bring them home, keep them aside, then go back again, or if you're sensible and not listening to me in this case, buy them all at the same time. Then do the same with red wines. Go and stick in your basket, your trolley, a Pinot Noir and a Cabernet Sauvignon. Two red wines, but incredibly different. So you've got 4 wines there between 32 and 36 quid. Ideally, it's a lot of money, I know. But all 4 wines are incredibly different. When you get home, pop the caps, pop the corks on the 2 reds and the 2 whites. Taste them all. Taste them all. And you'll find out how different they are. And I'll be very surprised if you liked all 4. So the idea is when you taste the 2 whites, the Sauvignon Blanc and the Chardonnay, you're probably going to like one more than the other. The one you like most, bring it forward, stick with it. Same with the red, bring that forward, stick with it. That gives you a style that you like. Which means, for example, if you pull forward the Sauvignon Blanc as your favourite white wine out of the 2, remember we've got Chardonnay and we've got Sauvignon Blanc, that means you like box fresh wines, loads of acidity, horrible word, fresh, zingy, what? And then lemons, limes, passion fruits, all your zingy, zappy fruits. I hate the word fruity when it comes to describing a wine, because if the wine is fruity and you want to tell it apart from another wine and they're all fruity, where the hell do you draw the line? So anyway, if you like Sauvignon Blanc out of your 2, you like things fresh as a daisy, zippy and zappy. With the red, let's say for example I tasted them and I said, oh, I like the Cabernet Sauvignon. That would tell me that I like a red wine that is robust, big, powerful, chunky, Vin Diesel. That's how I like my reds. So in a flash, I've spent 30 quid, yeah, but I've now kind of told myself what style of white wine I like and what style of red wine I like in the space of about 10 minutes. And it's easy, that's your starting point. That is tip number 1. There's loads more you can do. The trouble is it's a minefield, and it's the greatest of minefields. But a good starting point there is to buy yourself 4, 2 of each, 2 whites, 2 reds. So in my case, if it were me, I like my white wines fresh as a daisy, zippy zappy zoo, and my reds I like big punchy ballsy, Vin Diesel, John Terry, AJ. There's my right hook, it's bad. And in a boxing term, styles make fights. It's the same with wine. Styles make wines, and it's all about a style to find out what you really love. Next, tip number 2, tasting like a boss. Now, I don't know if you've been to many wine tastings, proper wine tastings, where someone at the front of a room has said, this is how you taste wine. They're useful because there is a way, there is a principle, there's a way in which to taste this stuff. I like to keep things really, really simple, but it's no good once you've picked your 4 wines, that's 8, 4 wines, 2 whites, 2 reds, nanu. There's no good just going pop, whack, wallop, or no. There's no good doing that. You've got to learn how to taste. And so I'm here to teach you how to taste like a boss, proper. So, look, here's my glass of Sauvignon Blanc. Can you see that? Oh, look at the colour. Cue slow-mo. There's my Sauvignon Blanc. So when I pulled that forward earlier, this is the Sauvignon Blanc that I said was fresh as a daisy, zippy zappy zoo. It's exactly that. There's a few things you can do here. There's my glass. Don't look at the watermarks. Is there lipstick there? Holy moly. So the first thing you should do is give it a look-see. Reason why I'm having a look is colour can indicate style. So the darker the wine is, generally speaking, the more full-bodied it's going to be. The lighter it is, it's the opposite. Generally speaking. We're pretty general and basic for now, so let's keep it that way. Next one, give it a spinny. The reason why you're doing that, look at that, it's all in the wrist. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Give it a spin. That opens up. The more you give that exposure to oxygen, it's going to allow the wine to open up, and it's going to be a whole lot better when you give it a sniffy sniff. Oh. So, next one. So we've had a look-see. We've given it a spinny. Now you need to give it a whiff. Now what I'm not going to do at this stage is to bring up on screen or give you a plethora of flavours to pick from, because that'd be easy. I said there was a word earlier that was banned, and that is the word fruity. So I don't want to hear anybody saying, that smells fruity. If you want to, because it's a default setting that goes, that's fruity. Well, it's made from the stuff. It's made from grapes. There's about 750 grapes inside every bottle of still wine. It's a lot of fruit. So yeah, you're right in a way, it's fruity, but I want to know, what are those fruits? So really quickly, in there is my Sauvignon Blanc. Now there's some very typical flavours in Sauvignon Blanc, and they're all to do with that kind of zippy zappy zoo, so kind of citrus flavours. You can imagine squeezing a lemon and lime into your mouth. Not going to be very nice in that respect, but it's that pizzazz of citrus fruit. With reds, the whole principle stays exactly the same. Exactly the same. Bit of a difference here though. Look, if I spin that and give that a whiz, it's all in the wrist, let no one tell you otherwise. Look, there's a few drips there, look, do you see them? Those are called legs or tears. Look, loads of the buggers. The slower those legs appear, and the thicker or claggier they appear to the glass, tells you two things. You've got a bit of alcohol, bit of booze, bit of ABV, bit of boo, and you've got some sugar. Doesn't mean it's sweet with sky high ABV, but that does tell you they might be quite full bodied, a phrase I don't like, but it might be quite chunky and robust. That might be like the Cabernet Sauvignon I was talking to you about earlier. What did I say? AJ, John Terry, that might be a bit of a Vin Diesel of a wine. Just by looking at it, that could be a bit of a Vin Diesel of a wine, but I won't know until I taste it. Yeah, let's taste it. Oh, there you go. That is how to taste wine like a boss. It's simple, but if you stick to that principle, you're going to get far. And the whole purpose of this is to try and identify a style, something that you like that you can grasp onto and use for when you go shopping for more wine. That way, when you know what you like, and let's face it, we are a country full of people that are more often than not creatures of habit. We are habitual in our purchasing habits, especially when it comes to wine. Going back to the whole grab and go, we don't really think. But if you taste these 4 examples, spend 32 to 36 quid. It ain't much in the grand scheme from what you're going to get for it in the long run. But you've got to do it. I urge you to do it. Once you've done that and you get home and you try those 4 wines, pick 2 that you really like. There are thousands of wines out there that are comparable to the ones that you like, which means you've identified a style. You can go forth, be happy, and try loads and loads and loads of different wines. That is my mission. But there's so much good stuff out there. I would love you to not just stick with the Cabernet Sauvignon, the Pinot Noir, the Sauvignon Blanc and the Chardonnay, because there are so many other wines that are just like that, begging to be guzzled, that are exactly the same in style to the ones you've just tasted, but you just don't know about them yet. I'm here to kind of demystify that and to encourage you to try it. So there we go. That's our easy peasy poo second video. There's going to be tons and tons and tons of more content. I've got so many ideas, little time to do it, but I'm here for you. I don't do this anything more than just to add value, give advice. That's all I want to do on my mission, on my manifesto. Speaking of manifesto, if you can't be asked to watch this video, in fact, if you've watched it up until now, you have been asked. If you want to switch off and go and look at something else, on my website, guzzlegrays.com, every Wednesday I upload a Wednesday manifesto, which is my take on the week and what I'm thinking about wines, bites and beats, all things Guzzle and Grays. Have a read, it's not too long, takes you 5 minutes, bit of a laugh, bit of a giggle. Hit me up on Instagram, go and have a look for Guzzle and Grays, hit me up on there. And also there's a podcast. Search Apple Podcasts or go to Apple Podcasts, search Wines, Bites and Beats, and there's a podcast every couple of weeks. So I'm everywhere. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you take that, I am everywhere, purely to get on my mission. Wines, bites and beats. Hope you can tell I'm pretty passionate about the stuff. I love it, and I want you to too.